Hey mama, I'm Trish, and I need to tell you something that might tick off some people in the birth world. Birth doesn't have to be terrifying. It just needs to stop being a stinking mystery. After 16 years as a labor and delivery nurse, catching over 1,000 babies and birthing 6 of my own, I got fed up watching scared, unprepared moms walk into delivery rooms. So I created the birth education I wish every mama had. Real talk from someone who's been on both sides of that delivery room door. Right now, I'm giving you everything: my 3 signature birth courses, monthly support calls, my brand new birth pod class, and 30 days free in our mama membership. Plus, I'm shipping you my labor birth comb absolutely free. This little tool is a game changer for natural pain relief during contractions. That's over $4,300 worth of birth education, plus a physical tool delivered to your door. Your body was made for this, mama, but you need to know your options. Get the Calm Birth Bundle at labornursemama.com/calm, C-A-L-M, because confident mamas have better births. You get a 14-day money-back guarantee, lifetime access, and it's available right now inside our app. Stop letting birth be a mystery. Get educated, get empowered, get the bundle, and get your birth comb free. You've just had a baby and you're like, yes, the hard part is over, until you stand up and you feel that gush and you wonder, wait, what in the world? Why is that much blood coming out of me? No one warned you that you'd be changing pads for you and baby, or that your uterus has a wound the size of a dinner plate inside of it. Today, we're unpacking Lochia, the real story behind postpartum bleeding, how long it lasts, what's normal, and when your body is simply telling you, slow down. I'm Trish Ware, or Labor Nurse Mama, and this is our Postpartum Unpacked series, where we're talking through what's really happening in those tender, beautiful, messy, difficult first weeks after birth. Lochia is your body's way of healing after birth. When your placenta detaches from your uterus, it also leaves behind a large open wound, roughly the size of a dinner plate. And that wound takes weeks to heal. Plus, your uterus is shrinking down to normal size. And all of that yuck and stuff inside of there is scuffing off, and the bleeding is the part that you see of this process. So Lochia is made up of blood, tissue, and leftover cells from pregnancy. It changes in color and texture as your uterus heals and contracts back down to size. So there are 3 stages of Lochia, and each one tells a story about where your body is in your recovery stages. So we're going to talk about the 3 stages of Lochia. Lochia rubra. This is days 1 to 4, sometimes up to 7. Now, I'm giving you guys like what should be normal, but we all are different and all of our bodies are different. And y'all know I say that all the time. So this initial stage, Lochia rubra, this is the bright red, heavier, period-looking bleeding. You might see some small clots, especially after standing up, or if you've been nursing, which is a wonderful release of oxytocin and lots of clamping down on that uterus. This stage is your uterus closing off those blood vessels at the placenta site and inside, just scoffing off all the things. The next stage is Lochia serosa. This is around days 5 to 10, can be up to 2 weeks. The blood flow lightens and turns like a pinkish brownish, think like leftover, right? It's thinner, and clots should be pretty rare at this time, or very, very small. This means your uterus is contracting and shrinking down beautifully. It's doing its job. Lochia alba is the next stage, and that is around a week 2-ish up to week 6, or it could be a little bit longer. This is yellowish or whitish and a discharge. You might still see some blood coming through. You're going to see a lot of mucus, and this is just your uterus finishing up the closing of the wound. If your bleeding suddenly goes back to bright red after it is lightened, that is usually a sign that your body is saying, hey girl, you did too much, slow down. So we want you to really watch it and listen to your body. So many mamas tell me, I felt great. And then I started cleaning, or I went for a walk, or I went to Target, which we all know we need a Target run. But that can actually start up the bleeding again. And you're not making any kind of mistakes. It's just feedback. Your body's just saying, hey, girl, I'm still healing. Slow it down. So this is why we teach the 5-5-5 rule. 5 days in the bed, rest, nurse, bond, hydrate. 5 days on the bed, sit up, watch some Bravo, but still rest, okay? 5 days near the bed. That means you're getting some gentle movements. Maybe you're going out to sit in the family room, but you're still coming back and resting. So every time you overdo it, your Lochia can like flare back up, in no better words. So listen to your body. It knows what you need. So let's talk about some practical care for bleeding and healing and the real life side of postpartum, because it's not always easy. And some of you guys don't have help. I get that. I totally get that. The things that can make these weeks easier and cleaner for you. Number one, they've got the mesh panties at the hospital. Ask for extra ones. And in those first few days, you can embrace them. You can also wear like the disposable, like pad, like incontinence underwear that also collect. And there's just so many options. There's just so many options for you guys. You don't have to wear your normal panties. Wear what feels good for you, right? We will give you giant postpartum pads in the hospital. Ask for extra. This is not the time to wear your cute, pretty undies. Trust me on that. Okay, so in the hospital and those first few days home, embrace disposable. You can get big disposable panties. We also give you the stretchy ones at the hospital that you can reuse and wash, but you can also wear something like this, a giant pad. So if you're watching the video, I'm showing this, but you want to just make sure that you have something big enough that you're not going to be making a mess. Once your flow lightens, you can move to like long pads with wings, but absolutely nothing in the vagina. Nothing, no tampons, no menstrual cups. Until you're fully cleared by your provider, you may have some tears and your cervix is still open and infection risk is high. The other thing I absolutely love is a peri bottle. These are amazing. So when you go into the bathroom, turn on your warm water, get it warm, put some warm water in here and clean off down there. Just squeeze down there instead of wiping. Now you can pat dry, but this is going to keep your stitches, your tears, and your sensitive skin clean and soothed. Now, a bonus tip, add a few drops of witch hazel or aloe if your provider says it's okay. The other thing, now this little guy right here, literally my favorite postpartum tool. Once or twice a day, especially if you've had stitches or hemorrhoids, or you just want to clean off and smell good, you can use some warm water, and this is called a sitz bath. And you can actually pop this one out. This one is, what would we call it? Expandable. This one is expandable. You can put warm water in here. You can use some herbal mixtures, but make sure they're safe for postpartum. You can also use Epsom salt, and it's going to help with swelling, promote healing, and just feels like heaven. I promise you. So you fill it up and you sit it into your toilet. Lift up the lid. You're going to sit right here on this. They also have some that have some bags where you can have some continual hot water, warm water coming in it. This right here, ladies, do not skip this. You can actually call up to your labor and delivery unit and ask to be transferred to postpartum, and ask them if they have them available that they will give you as a patient. So you don't even have to buy one. If not, we have our Amazon list for postpartum tools and all the things that I'm talking about, and we will link to that. But you want to be prepared ahead of time. So having your peri bottle, having your pads, having your sitz bath, that is all going to help you just feel better. Okay, another thing that I recommend, and I thought I had some to show you guys, but I don't, are witch hazel pads. You can buy Tux pads or generic. Either one does not matter. These can ease discomfort, especially if you're sore or you're swollen and you have stitches or hemorrhoids. Don't underestimate these products because they can help you so much. So what I recommend is you put them in the fridge, you fold them in half and you line your pad with. You can also take one and tuck it right up into your booty if you have hemorrhoids. And we have an episode all about hemorrhoids, and that, I swear, was the devil for me, hemorrhoids. But either way, that's going to soothe your body. And girl, you need it. You need to honor this body because this body has delivered a human. Now, another thing that I want to talk about is not underestimating staying hydrated and eating a good diet. Iron-rich foods, lots of fluids will help your body rebuild the blood volume and speed healing. And just be graceful to yourself, be kind to yourself, and remember, again, you birthed an actual person. Now, before we end this episode, I want to talk about when do we call your provider. So bleeding can vary, but it should gradually lighten. So I want you to call your provider right away if you notice, one, that you're soaking through a pad in an hour or less. If you're passing clots longer than a golf ball. Now, when you're breastfeeding, if you're laying back flat and you sit up, you may have some clots come out, but I still want you to let your provider know. Another thing is the smell of your bleeding. So it's not going to smell great, but it shouldn't smell like rank. So if it smells really foul, let your doctor know. If you feel dizzy, weak, or short of breath, please always report that. If you have persistent bright red bleeding after you've been resting and you're like 3 or 4 weeks in, we need to let your provider know. And the other thing, anytime you just feel like you need to tell them something, tell them. We do not want you to experience a postpartum hemorrhage or an infection, and you need care immediately. Now, during postpartum, the bleeding can really get on your last nerve, okay? You're tired, you're sore, you're changing diapers for baby and for yourself. But I just want you to give yourself grace. Again, this is why I love the 5-5-5 rule, because your body is closing this chapter for this baby, this pregnancy, and you're entering into a new stage. And every bit of bleeding, every after contraction, which we're going to have a talk about that on another episode, every day that you rest, you are doing something so sacred for your body. So instead of seeing it as something gross or inconvenient, see it as proof of how freaking incredibly strong you are and your body's incredible healing power. All right, mama. So to recap, Lochia is a normal postpartum bleeding as your uterus contracts back down to size and your placenta wound heals. It goes through 3 stages: rubra, which is red, serosa, pink or brown, and alba, which is yellow or white. If it gets heavier again, that's your cue to rest. Always listen to your gut and talk to your provider if you need to. Care for yourself with rest, hydration, sitz bath, and your peri bottle, and those glorious pads and mesh panties. If this episode helped you, share it with a new mom who needs to hear this is normal and you are doing an amazing job. If you want extra postpartum support, join us inside of Calm Mama Society. It's $19 a month. You have access to me, a postpartum doula, and a community of amazing moms. We meet 3 times a month for a safe, judgment-free space for every stage of motherhood. I'm Trish Ware, and this has been Postpartum Unpacked. Your body is a healing miracle. Give it the grace and rest it deserves. As always, please hit subscribe, leave a review or a comment, and I will see you again next week. Bye for now.